Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. That last voice you heard was Tournament Director Danielle Milligan, sending off these 12 great athletes as we begin match play here at the 2017 Pepsi PWBA Lincoln Open. We are currently watching 21 and 22. Christina Zerbinski taking on Rocio Restrepo. On 25 and 26, we will have Kelly Kulik and Juliana Franco. Emil Williams Jr. here with you. Appreciate you joining us as always. Folks, this will be, it should be, probably the most exciting match play round we've had all year. And not that we haven't had any good ones. As Juliana Franco gets a bad break. And I'll show it to you right now. She had the bucket momentarily, and then the 2 falls, and now she is left with the 4-5-8. The reason I say this could be the best because 86 pins is the difference from 1st to 12th. So that literally means, as you know, with match play and bonus pins for a win, anyone could make TV today. It could be 4 players. Or excuse me, it will be 4, as we see Liz Johnson just converted the 6-7-10. We'll have 4 players, but it could be any 4. Of course, 2 will come from the group step ladder no matter what. But all 12 have a legitimate chance at gaining an automatic spot onto TV, of course. And to do that, you must lead your respective group, whether it's Group A or Group B. Danielle Mcewen leads Group A at +73. She was the overall leader. Be sure to check pwba.com/live for live scoring results from qualifying rounds 1, 2, and the cashier's round. If you'd like to join in on the conversation, you know where to do that as well. Hop on the PWA Facebook page. It is up on the live now. So Danielle Mcewen, again, your leader overall. Cindy Jane in second at +67. She leads Group B. Much different than last week. After the cashier's round last week, C.T. Rockman and Lee Jane Sin. I know I just said Sin Lee Jane, but I'll do it a couple times for you. First name's Lee Jane, or Jane, she could be called as well. +365 was C.T. Rockman's lead heading into match play. +358. Lee Jameson was second. Again, this is last week in Wichita, just to give you an idea on the difference, of how well they bowled, how the pattern played a little bit as well. But Rockman was leading Group A, and second at the time when match play began last week was Juliana Franco at +173. Rockman had a 192 pin advantage. And Lee Jane Sin had a 193 pin advantage last week as they entered match play. Of course, Lee Jane Sin went on to flip-flop with CT Rockman as she dominated match play, speaking of Lee Jane. But this week, just a complete opposite. Plus 73, the leader of Group A, Danielle. Shannon O'Keefe, the defending champion of this event. Ooh. Made some moves in the cashers round. She went plus 113 6 games this morning to lead the field in that category and catapulted her to third. Now just 7 pins behind Danielle Mcewen for what could be the top overall seed and a position she is familiar with, of course, after earning that last year in this same building. So the storylines in that regard continue to build. Danielle Mcewen looking for her second TV appearance this year. We'll get a chance to see her next week, next Tuesday, on the PWBA Storm Sacramento Open TV show. It'll be on CBS Sports Network. Mentioned Shannon O'Keefe. Lee Jane. I did talk about Jane a little bit. She could make it 2 for 2. 2 events, 2 TV shows. She made 2 last year in limited time and looking to do the same thing again. How about Rocio Restrepo? She started out the year 2 for 2 on TV shows, won her 3rd career title, and could make another show potentially. I mean, we could literally go down the list, right? And I'm not gonna stop because this week is presenting almost that must-see TV. It's what you want as a fan of bowling. Let's take a look at Rocio. Let's take a look over at Kelly Kulick. Kelly with a strike. Of course, Kelly, the top seed of the PWBA Fountain Valley Open. She was your round 1 leader and the round 2 leader yesterday. Rocio opens. More look here at Kelly. And we'll continue on down the list. Fans, I certainly encourage you today, if there was ever a day you wanted to kind of hang out and watch some match play, this is it. You've got plenty of bowling to choose from today with the USBC Senior Masters ongoing on Bowl TV. Be sure to check that out if you haven't. Matt Canizaro and Aaron Smith. My compadres, the bros, if you will. Over on Extra Frame, the PBA Extra Frame Lubbock Sports Open. That is ongoing, qualifying beginning today. About Franco one time, and she leaves at 310. We'll get to Christina Zerbinski here as she gets ready to throw a shot on 22. Zerbinski, the lone left-hander in match play this week. She actually crossed with Shannon Pluhowski during the cashers round. Shannon fell just a few pins shy of match play this week, but Another solid week on a pretty demanding condition for Shannon. Zerbinski certainly made it worth her while. She picked the 3-7 in the 10th frame and the 4-7-10 in the 6th frame. To remain clean. Had she missed one of those, it certainly could have been a different story in regards to whether she made match play or not. Brandy Branca, first person out this week. She bowled so well and made a run as she always does. If Brandy is anywhere near the cut as she gets to the cashers round, you better watch out. She's going to give it a run. She did that, unfortunately. Big four on the fill. And it ended up being a 3-pin, or excuse me, yes, a 3-pin difference. Or Katie Zwiebelhofer claimed the final spot into match play. See the improvements every week for Brandy. Strap up. Of course, this is a fresh oil pattern, folks. So fresh oil, with 36 feet, 23.7 milliliters of oil. Open frame for Sarouse. Off camera on lane 28. Kulik looking for 3 in a row off camera. She gets it. We'll take a look at Kelly here in just a second. Getting back onto our standings. Diana Zavgalova said no to finishing 5th and 7th this year. Won the Queens, made another show at the Storm Sacramento Open. Christina Zerbinski. All right, she'll take the trip 6 on 22. Here's Kulik. Zerbinski tied with Liz Johnson for 6 to qualify for match play. And that one is outside there for Kelly. Zerbinski used a very nice 6-game block of 1286 this morning to move into 6th place. She was 26th. She qualified 26th after 12 games for the cashers round and made her move this morning. Back over to Franco. Continuing storylines, for example, but Christina, who has plenty of experience in regards to television collegiately with Maryland Eastern Shore, several national championships, real opportunity to make some noise here in match play and potentially make her first PWBA TV final. Liz Johnson. Liz has now made it 5 consecutive events here via match play. She missed the cut, the match play cut, the very first event, the Keuka AMF PWBA Sonoma County Open. She finished 13th, hasn't missed match play since, and in fact has made the last 4 TV finals. Will appear or has appeared at this point. She's looking for 5 in a row. Franco looking for her 2nd consecutive TV appearance. Made it last week as the number 3 seed to the Wichita Open. Mentioned Kelly Kulick looking for her 2nd TV appearance of the season after such a tough year last year, injuries, family, everything going on. Coming into 2017, had a combined 10 championship round appearances in the 2 years since the relaunch of this tour. Here she is. A 20-pin lead at the moment. Well, really 19 at over Juliana Franco. Zerbinski. Oh, gets the 7-10 to go late. Really admired her spare shooting earlier today. It was, I mean, those spares were literally the difference in where she ended up. Based on the outcome, she probably would have still been able to do it. You just say 22 pins or so would have put her at +4. Would have been 11th or 10th. But you never know at that point. And she crosses over and leaves an 8-pin. Tashina Sorouse in her first match play appearance in PWBA competition. Franco crosses over as Zerbinski will finish it up in the 10th frame and shoot 185. So could have a tie if Restrepo were to strike. First shot in the 10th, go strike spare. Anything less than a strike at this point, she would lose. So must strike here no matter what. Liana Franco is into the 10th frame. She just left the 4 pins, only get to 180. And a 4-pin. So Zerbinski will start with a W and add 30 bonus pins. The match is ongoing. You can check your live scoring link. You can find it on pwba.com/live. Liz Johnson just put 2 in the 10th to defeat Sin Lee Jane. Restrepo makes the spare. And Franco. 8 pin. 179 to start. Give you a look at Rose Phil's shot here. That's what she was looking for. Now back over to Kelly. High flush. I went a little bit outside there, but no trouble for Kulik. .206 to 179 is the final. And everyone finished with game 1 at the same time. Zerbinski will take on Zwiebelhofer on 25 and 26. Juliana Franco will take on Lee Jane on 21 and 22. While we have a moment, again, just wanted to thank Pepsi, title sponsor of the PWBA Lincoln Open. Thank all of our sponsors, of course, Smithfield Foods, GoBowling.com, Nationwide, and Cubica AMF, as well as all of our registered companies, products, apparel, accessories, ball manufacturers. PWBA Tour, of course. All right, game 2, Zerbinski got a win in game 1. Zwiebelhofer coming off a 164 game, in trouble out of the gates here for Zerbinski. Again, Franco taking on Lee Jane. early open for Christina. We're going to look at Katie Zwiebelhofer. Good shot to start. There's Lee Jane. And that one crosses over. I know Katie making everyone from Wisconsin proud. A good Stellar Queens event. And now match play here in Lincoln. Assistant coach at Wisconsin Whitewater. Former player for the Warhawks as well. Weighted Juliana Franco over on 21 and 22. Zabinski strikes off camera. Good shot. Franco doubles up. Spare for Jane Sid in third. Or she mean the third frame, I beg your pardon. Franco can make it 3 in a row. 10-pin wiggles. About Zwiefelhofer. She leads at 3-6. Take a look at the scores here in 1 second. Franco made the spare. And Zwiefelhofer will do the same. KDZ with the early lead. The early open from Zerbinski. A close match over on 21 and 22. 12 pins the difference at the moment. A 3-pin for Franco. Pretty good shot, and a 6-pin for Zerbinski. Of course, Christina originally from Naperville, Illinois. A couple of players from that Naperville, Aurora, Montgomery area competing this week, actually. Julia Bond, Husker, and senior to be from Aurora. Zell Poss from that area as well. She was competing this week also. Of course, Christina now residing in North Tonawanda. Their husband, John. Lee Jane, two-time European bowling tour champion. Malaysian Open, won the Singapore Open. Zerbinski. More trouble on the left lane. Want to say hello to everyone watching at home, on the road. Another spare for Zerbinski. I called it before the 4-pin, or excuse me, the 2-pin clipped the 10. Premature on my part, but I knew it was going to happen. Because I've watched her do it actually on the same lane. She's made 3 7-count splits. See the strike there for KDZ. We'll see who will go first, and that's where we'll send the camera. Again, your defending champion here is Shannon O'Keefe, and she has made match play, made a charge. The catcher's round going plus 113 for 6 games. Big double for Zwiefelhofer. She is firmly in the mix. Boy, the pins just won't go down for Christina here. Franco, the strike and the 7th. Let's take a look at some stat updates here. As soon as I can get to it, there it is. All right, new leader in Group A. It is Liz Johnson, or no shock. Mcewen, just 9 pins back now. Again, we mentioned just how close things are when we started overall. And Liz Johnson. So Mcewen in second, plus 71. Maria Jose Rodriguez is third at plus 63. Zabinski 10 back finally on that left lane. Off camera, Zavyalova plus 60. She is fourth. Shannon O'Keefe in fifth at plus 54, 6 pins back of a group stepladder final appearance. And Tashina Saraus is sixth at plus 25. Take a look at Group B. All right, Sinley Jane, 3 in a row. And Zwiefelhofer with 3 in a row also. Now Lee Jane leading Group B. And putting a little distance now after the couple low games from Zwiefelhofer, who was 6th. At minus 49, she is 90 back. Liana Franco in 5th, minus 15, 56 pins back. Zerbinski is 4th in Group B, currently in the group stepladder finals at plus 41. Lucia Restrepo is 3rd at plus 45. Kelly Kulik is in 2nd at plus 51. Lee Jane Sin in plus 109. Things can turn with the quickness, especially when you add the addition of bonus. We got ourselves a match. Jane Sin and Juliana Franco. Zabinski not out of this one either. Apply a little pressure here. First, let's check out Lee Jane Sin. On 3 in a row. Chops the 10 out. Zerbinski looking for a double, gets it. She can max out at 224, speaking of Christina. Zwiefelhofer can get to 235. Get into 230s if she doubles. Lee Jane. Oh. And a bucket in the 10th. Oh, she's looking at 223. And Franco can take the match potentially. Help for Zerbinski. 4-pin in the 9th frame. Bucket attempt. Textbook there. All right, Franco assuming the strike here from Eugene Sin. If Juliana Franco goes 9 spare strikes, she will win by 1. He made the spare in the 9th. And now 7. Franco with a little more room to work with from a pin count perspective. First look at Zwiefelhofer and the 9th. She's in control. Don't want to give anything back to Zerbinski, and just like that, Christina is back in this one. All right, Franco. And 6, 7, 10. Well, can turn in the blink of an eye, folks. Don't close your eyes because you may miss something. How about a spare conversion? No. And Franco falls here, 220 to 210, the open and the 10th. That would have been a much needed win for her and would have knocked off Lee Jane Sin, who was leading their group. Now Lee Jane will be able to pad her lead a little bit here. But that one just takes right off in the 10th frame. So the best Wiebelhofer can do now is shoot 201. Which means at the moment, no matter what, a double for Zerbinski is necessary. Will give Wiebelhofer the spare strike situation. She would need double and 9 to ensure victory. Not an easy spare. Takes care of business. Well, talking about getting it together. Tiziana Rouse. 8 spare, 9 out. Split, 9 out, 6-3, 4-backer. It's still in the match. With Danielle Mcewen actually leading it currently. Big fill shot here for Zwiebelhofer. All right, gets them all to fall, 201. Max score for Zerbinski 203. Again, needs double and 9 for a victory. She can go 2-0. With the help of some bonus pins, continue to move up the ladder here in Group B. Throwing a couple strikes on this right lane. That's got to get some help. And probably the least expected thing you would in that situation. When she threw that one, came in back, and you could clearly read her lips, and she said, "Wow." Mcewen shoots 168. 2 splits, or a split and an open in the 6th frame. Zerbinsky makes the spare. Couple of deep breaths and exhales for Christina. She is going down to just get a new bowling ball briefly here. Wow, Tashina Rouse. That's pretty impressive. It's Danielle Mcewen. Danielle only opened twice, but yet Rouse, who opened 4 consecutive times, folks. Listen to what I'm telling you. 201 to 179, final score here. Rouse went spare, 9 out, 8 out on the split, 9 out in the 4th. Or excuse me, spare in the 1st, 9 out in the 2nd, split in the 3rd, 9 out in the 4th, 6-3 in the 5th. And then just threw 5 in a row before a 4-pin to get a victory over Danielle Mcewen. Check live scoring, 19 and 20. You can see it for yourself. All right, some opportunities missed there. Finally, our last game. So we'll have Maria Jose Rodriguez and Shannon O'Keefe. Good match coming up here. Nearing the 2 o'clock Central Time hour. We appreciate you tuning in. Forget, folks, let me check out the archives here on Extra Frame. The archives on Bowl TV. USBC Senior Masters on Bowl TV. The PBA Lubbock Sports Open. The Extra Frame Lubbock Sports Open. Going on simultaneously with us right now. Good shot there for Maria Jose Rodriguez. All right, folks. Well, briefly, we will be joined by Motive Ball rep Nathan Bohr.
Thanks for having me.
Can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
I can. Go ahead and pull that closer to your perfect. All right. Don't want to hold you up. Obviously, you are working, of course, but like to give the viewers some thoughts from the ball reps as they watch it, just to give us what you're seeing. Of course, I know you're watching Maria, but what have you seen kind of throughout today with the Cashers round, and specifically now match play? A little different feel, of course, less bowlers and everything going on with that.
Seems like today was this morning anyway. They were different than they had been yesterday, and that was kind of evidenced by some of the players that made a run this morning that didn't bowl quite as well. Didn't bowl quite as well yesterday. Shannon being one of them, Katie Z being another. Seemed like this morning higher tilt. Seemed to higher tilt, or even a little bit of just soft rotation. In Katie's case, seemed to be the better way to get the ball through the front, get it to that window down lane. Otherwise, Maria was having to use all the tricks in her bag just to get it close down lane. They were tough this morning, very tough. Shannon bowling 100 over was outstanding. It was 300 over compared to if we were bowling on just a regular like a 2.5, 3 to 1. It was a big score this morning. Um, so that's how it was this morning. This afternoon, it's really all about the pair that you come to, because I was watching in practice and watching the first game. All 6 pairs, there was no consistency across. It's pretty much like, for instance, Maria and Danielle both played 5 in practice and ended up being about 11, 12 by the end of the game. Um, and then Maria came to her pair on 27 and 28, where I don't think there was a shot right of 12.
Wow.
And so just players playing everywhere, trying to find something that's comfortable, just because they're just so hard. This is right now, it's pretty comparable to a U.S. Open or to Sonoma earlier this season.
I was gonna say,
Just 4 feet shorter.
yeah. I was gonna say, how close is it? I mean, we've seen the scoring pace, of course. Kelly led with plus 78 yesterday and plus 73. Or excuse me, Danielle led plus 73 the match play coming into it. Considerably lower, even for the leaders.
Yeah, exactly.
Than the first week. I was gonna say, how different or close is it than to Sonoma?
Well, I mean, I didn't think they were. Maria had a great thought yesterday. She said they're easy, but they're hard. In that when your ball does the right thing, it looks like you can do it all day. But being able to repeat, you got to do 3, 4, 5 things right every shot just to get it to the pocket. When you do it, the ball goes through the pins. It looks great. It looks like you can do that all day. But that's not really the case. So you got to do a lot of things just to get it to the pocket. And then the carry is tough here. Brand new pins this week is what I heard. So it's definitely a test. And you can see, I mean, it took 15 games for somebody to get to 100 over.
Right.
And then she bowled 510 the next 3. So
there you have it.
That's pretty much all you need to know about the scoring pace and about this tournament. But these girls are working their butts off. They know what is being asked of them, and they're accepting the challenge.
I appreciate that, sir. I'll let you get back to work. Thank you for your time.
Sure thing. Thanks.
That is Nathan Bohr. Representative of Motive, giving us some insight from the ball rep perspective of what he is watching, what he's seen today here in match play. Of course, Maria on the Motive staff. Nicole Bauer bowled well. She's on the staff as well earlier today on the casters round. Heard from Brian O'Keefe yesterday. Thank him for his thoughts also. So again, like to do that when we can. We've got a really pristine situation here in Lincoln. I mentioned earlier in our broadcasts yesterday that we have a pretty cool platform. And so, you know, when you think platform, I'm literally kind of sitting up atop the bowlers, if you will, but next to bleachers, for example, to try to paint the picture as best I can. But I can reach over. Actually, well, Nathan's tall enough so he can. I can see him. He'll be over the top of the platform. Give him the headset and give his thoughts for 2 minutes as well. So we don't have this type of action. We don't have a platform like this at all. It's pretty cool. So big thanks to John Lucido and staff here at Sun Valley. They didn't just have it for me. They have it for streaming in general. It was used at World Youth, for example, in previous years here at the event as well. Our other match ongoing, Danielle Mcewen and Liz Johnson. So we'll watch Maria. All right, let's check in on Danielle Mcewen and Liz Johnson. All right, Liz opened in the fourth. And Mcewen is right back and strikes in the fifth. O'Keefe and Rodriguez. It was a 10-pin match for just a moment. Speaking of standings, Restrepo making a move. Rowe is in Group B. She is second right now behind Lee Jane Sin. Keith makes a bucket. 59 pins is the difference between Lee Jane and Rocio. Kelly Kulik is third at plus 61. Zerbinski plus 20 in fourth. Juliana Franco is fifth at minus 5. Katie Zwiefelhofer is minus 18. Just 38 pins out, so still some opportunity for both Franco and Zwiefelhofer here. Really good shot there from Liz Johnson. Liz has moved left a little bit. Folks, what you see in your screen really is both the past, the present, and the future, all rolled into kind of one shot. Liz Johnson with a very rare miss. But from a past perspective, starting her career in 1996 on tour, winning Rookie of the Year, and of course what has transpired from that time until now, even including the relaunch of the tour, 2-time player of the year, in fact, reigning back-to-back player of the year. And Danielle Mcewen waving off and get some help on the floor. And Danielle Mcewen won the inaugural Smithfield PWBA Tour Championship in 2015. The Wichita Open last year is undoubtedly part of the present, along with Liz Johnson, and most certainly the future to continue on with women's bowling, for example, once Liz decides to call it a career. How about that? Couple trip fours. All right, on to O'Keefe, the defending champion. Let's take a look at the Group A standings. O'Keefe has started slow, 188, 168, and has fallen to 6th in Group A, but just 16 pins out of 4th. Zabialova is 5th, 9 pins out. Saraus is 4th. That could be the story of the tournament at some point, potentially, if she makes TV. I'm going to go back to what essentially was game 2. Which makes me think, is this game 3? I want to make sure it is. I do that a lot sometimes. But Saraus went spare, 4 opens in a row, and then the back 5 to get to 183. Essentially 9 strike, 9 spare in the 10th. And defeated Danielle Mcewen. I mean, imagine what that could do and what it is doing maybe for her confidence. In trouble for O'Keefe here in the 8th. You heard Nathan Bohr talk about it, and I mentioned it earlier. Shannon O'Keefe making the jump. Went plus 113 during the Cashers round this morning to get into 3rd, entering match play. Maria Jose Rodriguez is leading Group A currently at plus 86. Liz Johnson is 2nd at plus 80. Danielle Mcewen 3rd, plus 39. Mentioned Shiny Saraus 4th at plus 38. Zabialova plus 29 in 5th. O'Keefe plus 22 in 6th. 1-2-8-10 for Rodriguez. Mcewen now with 4 in a row, was taking advantage of the couple of trip 4s. Head pin just dies in front of the 10 pin. Well, it's a 15 pin match. Mcewen comfortable lead over Liz Johnson at the moment. 3-6 for Rodriguez. Well, it could be a repeat, although when we entered match play, no one knew for sure, but as it unfolds here, Lee Jane Sin could capture her 2nd consecutive #1 seed. crisis averted there. Jane strikes in the ninth for Rocio, battling with Caitlin Zwiefelhofer, trailing in the match. O'Keefe, the ball change looks like, and she leads at 3-10. That was a chance to put a little pressure. She was going to finish the match. Still can. She can make the 3-10. Liz Johnson 2-4-5 in the ninth. Two, 4-5 converted for Liz. The best she can do is shoot 201. Danielle will need just 4 pins on 2 balls to win this match. Wow. 3, 6, 9, 10 for Shannon. It's 36 feet. Low volume to 23.7 milliliters. And the open frame, 160. Or Rodriguez just needs a few pins here. Rodriguez left at 2-8. She's won the match, but all right, Liz shoots 190. And Maria missed the 2-8. Did not cost her the match, but every pin counts in this situation. It's a good convo that you see going on between Brian and Shannon. Let's take you to Danielle to the frame. 2:08 in the ninth here for Danielle. After the strike, you can get you 238. It's a big game here for Mcewen. She'll get her first victory and 30 bonus pins. And she will defeat Liz Johnson, who was in second in front of her by 41 pins. That was the difference in the standings. So Danielle makes up the difference between her and Liz Johnson here in one game, including the bonus. Strepo. Nice washout conversion over on 27 and 28. Lee Jane continuing her stellar bowling through the first one in the 10th. Her opponent, Kelly Kulik, is in the books with 174. All right, so she'll get another victory. So Lee Jane will be 3-0. All right, no bowling going on in our feature pairs currently. But you can see the end, and that was the end of the Lee Jane Kelly Kulik match. I need to apologize this time around, folks. Normally in a situation like this, I can move some cameras to the nearest match. Fortunately, the way we set up today, we had to set up to get the lanes that we needed. The cameras are essentially to my left and right of the platform, and they are in the settee area. right, game 4 now underway. Kelly Kulick and Caitlin Zwieffelhofer, or Katie Zwieffelhofer, and Diana Zavyalova, along with Danielle Mcewen. Pretty good matches here. Talked about Danielle and Liz from that past, present, and future, all in one match. This is certainly present and future here in this one. T-Mac getting a few breaks. Seen a couple trip fours. Time of 10-pin rolls off camera. We're coming down to it. Big shot there for Zwieffelhofer. Keelan leaves 3-6-10. Shot from Kulick. Looking forward to this next. Standings updates. It's going to tell a lot, or it could tell a little, potentially. Kulick with 3 in a row. Zavyalova early open. Let's see if Zwieffelhofer can answer the bell here. That looks pretty good. 4-pin. Ethan Bohr kind of described it a little bit earlier. He said he noticed a lot of players that had higher tilts tended to score a little bit better today. And that's including this morning and up until that point what he had seen via match play. All right, Zavyalova will take it to that match after she strikes, or she did strike, excuse me. Zwieffelhofer takes care of the spare in the 3rd frame. On behalf of our entire PWBA staff, I want to thank all of you for joining us. Danielle Milligan is our tournament director. Kathy Waka is our assistant tournament director. Kathy Kavicki is our tour coordinator and merchandise manager. She takes care of business on anything merchandise related here on site. Speaking of that, if you won't be on site or were on site and forgot to get something that you wanted, etc., you can check it out at shoppwba.com. Again, shoppwba.com for all of your Professional Women's Bowling Association merchandise. And of course, Jason Thomas, man about town, does everything with the video open frame for Zwevelhofer. And now let us take a peek on 25 and 26. Mcewen. Bucket. All right, your 3-game update is in. And Group A, well, first of all, your overall leader, Emily Jane at plus 184. She is 3-0. Good spare for Mcewen. Speaking of Danielle, she leads Group A. That's how we came into match play. The difference was Mcewen was the overall leader. And Lee Jane was second. Pocket 7-10 for Kulik in the 5th. Again, had the front 4. Zavyalova. Didn't like it to start. Continuing on with standings, Group A, Mcewen plus 97. Just 4 pins in front of Maria Jose Rodriguez, who is plus 93 and is undefeated so far in Group A. Shaina Saraus from Aruba by way of course, Maryland Eastern Shore. She is plus 86. Liz Johnson is 4th at plus 70. That is 7-0. Zavyalova is 5th at plus 35. 35 pins out of the group stepladder in Group A. And Shannon O'Keefe after that tough game. In fact, she is tough, period. There's some really nice people here in Lincoln. Really nice people. I mean, they gave, they had all of the players sign some bowling pins. Nice, cool, wooden lacquered ones. And they handed out a pin to each player who made match play on behalf of Sun Valley Lanes. And of course, John Lucido comes up as Kathy Kavicki is kind of hanging out in the booth for a minute, taking a little break, but came up to give us both a pin. And so, just really want to get that idea. Slow moving in this one, but that's good because it's a close match. All right, Danielle, 3-6. She makes the spare. It'll be a 5-pin match. Shaina Saraus, every time I look up, she is striking. Oh, another split conversion by Christina Zerbinski. She's got the lead. For Lee Jane Sin at the moment on 27-28. Check that out on live scoring. All right, Kulik back on it. Let's take a look. Danielle has struck only one time. It was in the first frame. She had some late love on the 10 pin. All right, finally. There's one in the 6th. Kulik. Board does not trip. But a pretty comfortable lead at the moment. Between her and Katie Wievelhofer. Kulik spare in the 7th. Wievelhofer and her ties to Wisconsin Whitewater. Not her first event of the season as well. She bowled a few last year also. So Wievelhofer ended up finishing in that 49 to 64th grouping. Did make match play, but went 0-2 in the double elimination bracket. And chops the 2-4-5. Back over to Mcewen. And a 2-8 for Danielle. But neither player wants to take this match here. Wievelhofer through the nose. 3, 6, 7, 10. Over on 21. Zerbinski chops the 7 out. Big shot in the 9th frame. See where Zerbinski is. She is 3rd in Group B. She is facing the leader of Group B, Lee Jane Sin. Lee Jane at plus 184 currently. She can get to 227 this game. And she is on the way here in the 9th. Through the nose and just leaves a 6-pin. Be a big, big win for Zerbinski. For many reasons, going to close the gap a little bit, especially if she can shoot 240 and add 30 bonus pins to it. That could be a big turn of events here. especially with what would be 2 games to go. 1 game, technically, and a position round. Here in this match at 310, Mcewen. Open frame in the 8th, first open for Danielle. All right, big shot here for Zavyalova in the 8th. First double by any player in the match. Kulik spare here. See if Zwiefelhofer can finish out strong. Kelly has already won the match. Diana left a 4-pin. She will attack it here in the 9th. .205 max score for Zavyalova. 199 max score for Mcewen. Zwiefelhofer did strike in the 9th. From that point, from a confidence perspective, Danielle gets a break on the Brooklyn side. Didn't like it. He's from New York, so she'll take it. Mentioned young, bright. Talented, extremely skilled. You're looking at 2 of the best young talents right now, 25 and younger, although they both will then move on to be 26 pretty soon. Their birthdays are exactly 30 days apart. Diana's birthday is August 1st. Danielle's is September 1st. On the future of the PWBA Tour, this is it. Right after the spare, Mcewen only get to 179. Eight pins on. Oh, not anymore. 176. 5 pins on a couple balls here for Just a couple pins needed. See over Strepo. Strikes first shot in the 10th. She will defeat Juliana Franco. Zwiefelhofer shoots 150. Kulik can strike for 210 here momentarily. Shannon O'Keefe. She is on 27, or excuse me, 29, I beg your pardon. 29 and 30, finishing up on 30. And can get to 2-0. All right, so both pair finishing up 210 to 150. Kulik over Zwiefelhofer, 192 to 176. Zavyalova over Mcewen. Rouse shoots 210. Be on the watch out here for Shoshana Rouse. She's going to make it interesting. We could run into a situation where she could be in the running here for a top spot. Automatic berth onto television. Maria Jose Rodriguez will take on Rouse on 21 and 22. Lee Jane and Rocio will lock up on 25 and 26. This will be our final game prior to position round. Ladies are making their way to their respective pairs. Saw the good sportsmanship shown there between Lee Jane and Rocio. Queuing on to the next pair, 27 and 28. He starts with a 10 pin. Wow, 1-2-10 to start for Lee Jameson. You don't see her do that very often. She is pretty deadlocked in the 1-3. What seems like 90% of the time. Obviously, that's a pretty darn high percentage. So Rouse starts with a strike on 21 and 22. Restrepo. Nine spare. Group step ladder finals will begin at 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern. Your Bowl TV on Extra Frame. Big thanks to all of you for joining us. 12 of the best here. Tough pattern, 36 feet. Fresh all throughout the week. No burn squads during this event. All right, we'll keep an eye again on Rouse. He starts with a double. Be able to watch Rouse's game. Help Maryland Eastern Shore to an ITC appearance, a couple actually, a couple NCAA championship appearances, a couple MEAC championships, MEAC Bowler of the Year. See more of her momentarily. Ooh. Jane from Ipoh, Malaysia. Again on tour, finished 5th in Detroit, or excuse me, 2nd in Detroit, 5th at the Queens last season. Just got a ton of championships, medals, etc. Most recently, the Asian Bowling Tour in Thailand in 2017. She was a women's champion there. Malaysia International Open in 2016. Won the European Bowling Tour Masters champion, or excuse me, won the event, I beg your pardon. 7th Annual Track Dream Bowl Palace Open. Asian Championship in 2016, or at the Asian Championships, excuse me, won gold in doubles, bronze, and team. I mean, the list just goes on and on for her. Been a 3-time Singapore International Open champion. All right, I mentioned Tashina Rouse. Let's take a look at her game. No one has been able to do what she's doing. Like, I don't think really that many people have that specific look. Mcewen, spare strike, spare now at 310. I guess she's on 27 and 28. Let's look at our scores here. Update brought to you by Pepsi. Rouse again, and a 3-6, 9-10. Meanwhile, Restrepo makes a spare. 3 consecutive spares here for Rouse. Rouse is plus 26 here for 4 games. but she is your new leader in Group A. You can see it coming, folks. Rouse now at plus 126. The leader in Group A. Open frame in the fourth. Should be a good match here between her and Maria Jose Rodriguez. Elimination bracket, day 2 action up on Bold TV. They are live in Las Vegas. Aaron Smith and Matt Cannizzaro. And a 210. So again, Rouse plus 126. Liz Johnson just 13 pins back. Maria Jose Rodriguez is third at plus 99. Danielle Mcewen at fourth at plus 73. Zabialova is fifth at plus 57. And O'Keefe is sixth at minus 26. 99 pins back at fourth. Zabialova 16 pins back at fourth. In Group B, Lee Jane Sin, plus 181. Zerbinski does move into second. In Group B, she's at plus 127. Restrepo is third at plus 118. Kulik is in fourth at plus 75. And the separation that's kind of kicked over here. Franco is minus 9 in fifth, 84 pins out of fourth. As Weevelhofer is in sixth, minus 46. 121 pins out. Oh, nasty 8-pin there for Lee Jane Sin. You can see it off camera. All right, see if Rouse can bounce back. Rouse high again, but just leaves at 3-6. Right now, Tashina Rouse would be the number 2 seed if we were to stop play right now. we've had a few of those. A few 8-pins we have seen for sure. All right, spare made. Good match going on here. Let us check in. Restrepo and Jane Sin. Restrepo with 3 PWBA titles now for the career. Mm, 2-4-5. That one just kind of wiggled a little bit. Looked like we got it right just a touch early. And a washout 1-2. 8-10 for Rodriguez off camera. And she gets 2. Not advancing to match play this week. Again, Brandy Branca finished 13th. Laura Plazas finished 14th. The amateur from out of Bel Air, Kansas, of course, went to Wichita State. Shannon Pluhowski finished 15th. C.T. Rockman, after garnering the number 2 seed last week, of course, from Malaysia, finishes 16th this week. Victoria Johansson and 17th from Sweden. Clara Guerrero finishes in 18th. There's Lee Jane Sin. Looks like she made a move right and gets some carry. Nice, very interesting move there. Jody Golick finished 19th. The tie for 20th. Verity Crawley and Jasmine Snell. Sandra Gungor finished 22nd. Sandra Anderson finished 23rd. Jen Higgins finished 24th. Naidadal Hamidi finished 25th from Malaysia. Katie Ann Sop Schroeder. Shot from Sarouse off camera. Lee Jane. Wow, what a shot. She moved right. That's a big shot there. First double for Lee Jane. Restrepo trying to close the gap here. She is trailing Lee Jane Sin in Group B. $63 pins the difference. Jerbinsky is in second at plus 127. Shot there from Restrepo. Just look at Maria Jose Rodriguez. Finishing those who did not advance to match play. Nicole Bauer finished 27th. The amateur Josie Ernest Barnes finished 28th. Missy Parkin finished 29th. A shot there from Rodriguez. Julia Bond, the current Husker and senior to be, finished 30th. April Ellis, TV finalist in this event a year ago, finished 4th last year, finished 31st this year. And the last cashing spot went to Angelimar Beasley, who finished 32nd. And still no double for Rowe. In fact, that was her first strike in the 7th frame. Rodriguez now trying to put a little pressure here on to Shina. Rodriguez with a double, 7 and 8. What do you got in frame number 9? That's got a push. And she leaves at 6-10. You can feel it in the room. Not like Phil Collins or anything. But you can feel it. It's about the time where the hearts start to go up, the heart rates increase. Palms may get a little extra sweaty. Got to hit the grip sack or the rosin just a couple more times. So Rouse strikes. First shot in the 10th. She has 4 in a row. Rouse is going to be in a very good position. And at the moment, he's going to be bowling for an automatic spot on the TV finals. The Pepsi PWBA Lincoln Open. That's what's at stake for her. Let's look at Rocio here and Lee Jane. Lee Jane Sin made of the 1-2-10 in the 8th. 9 spare in the 9th. Best Lee Jane can do is shoot 200 even. At this point, best Rocio can do is shoot 199. Zavyalova with a big split. And a tough match with Liz Johnson. That could go either way in the 10th frame. At the moment, Liz Johnson will have to go if Zavyalova strikes. She'll be looking at no worse than 9 spare strike to win by 1. To Rouse through a different ball there on the fill. It may be too early to even be thinking about this, but when it's this close, it's hard to kind of give away the sticks. Wow. Certainly not what Maria needed. She leaves a pocket 7-10. You didn't see it. Liz Johnson. Wash out there for Rocio. Liz Johnson doubles in the 10th. She comes down to get a new ball. So she will shoot potentially 202. Restrepo, 181. Team Malaysia, of course, rooting on Lee Jane. Shaina Sorouse adds to her total. She'll be a plus 167. Not sure if Liz Johnson shot 202 or not.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our fifth game of match
190
play.
to 181.
Put them in order, and then we're going to come right
Top
back
12,
out
the announcement is forthcoming, folks. Do not go anywhere. Hang tight.
Group step ladder final. So hold on, folks. One more game of position round.
It is going to be pretty darn fun. I believe Shaina Sorouse will have an opportunity to garner an automatic berth onto TV. And I believe she will take on Liz Johnson. So imagine that, Sorouse Johnson. Sorouse to have to beat the best player on tour the last 2 seasons to make her first TV bid outright. Of course, if that were to happen, if that is indeed the matchup and she does lose, more than likely she'll have an opportunity to still make it through via the group step ladder final. But that could be the scenario. You just saw Maria shoot 165. 165. Mcewen, Zavyalova, who just lost to Liz, and Shannon O'Keefe, your defending champion. Well, you never know. Not sure what she shot in Game 5, but you never know what could happen and where she might be in the standings after this. Lee Jane Sin, that last victory certainly helped her. She's got the inside track to the #1 overall seed. We'll have to check on Christina Zerbinski and Kelly Kulik. A lot of fun coming up, folks. Stay tuned. Top 12 match play announcement coming up next.
position round lineup. We're going to start with Group A. On lanes 25 and 26, we're going to have the Sheena Saras versus Liz Johnson. Currently, Liz Johnson is only 51 pins out of that tournament lead in Group A. In third and fourth position on 27 and 28, we have Maria Rodriguez versus Danielle Mcewen. And on lanes 29 and 30, we have Diana Zabialova versus Shannon O'Keefe. That was Group A. Now over to Group B. On lanes 21 and 22, we have Lee Jameson versus Kelly Kulik. On lanes 19 and 20, Rocio Restrepo versus Christina Zerbinski. And on lanes 17 and 18, we have Juliana Franco against Katie Zwiefelhofer. That was Group B. So ladies, please move to your lanes. We're now going to give you an additional 5 minutes of warm-up.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, position round. Game 6 of 6 here in match play. Spot where we all love to be and watch and to enjoy. Group A, Tashina Sarouse and Liz Johnson. Kind of previewed it a little bit, thought that would be the case, and it is. Sarouse at plus 195. Liz Johnson at plus 144. 51 pins the difference. Maria Jose Rodriguez, Danielle Mcewen, and Diana Zabialova, but they're all battling for the group stepladder positions.
Interesting scenarios that are going to happen right here in this final position game.
Lee Jameson is a plus 201. She is 6 pins ahead of Sarouse for the overall and the number 1 seed. And she will take on Kelly Kulik. Juliana Franco with a very outside chance at earning a group stepladder spot.
So again, 6 pins separating who will be our number 1 seed. In addition, Diana Zabialova, who is currently 5th in Group A, can still get into that group stepladder final as she's only 14 pins behind Danielle Mcewen.
It would be almost like icing on the cake for Diana Z if she were to make the group step ladder and then finally win one. And I think that would solidify basically 2017, or excuse me, 2016 kind of being all the way gone. It's already been solidified because she won the Queens. It's already made another TV show which will air pretty soon. But, I mean, that would pretty much do it, right? Christina Zerbinski, again, is in fourth. Shot 171 and lost in game 5. So she has plus 98. That's some previous group step ladder final experience. All right, so 21 and 22, Lee Jane Sid and Kelly Kulik in Group B. Over on 25 and 26, Tashina Sorouse and Liz Johnson. We saw what Kelly was doing in practice. I think she was three-stepping, so she'll be moving in potentially.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is it. Game 6, the final game of match play. The 2 leaders in each group will advance to the PWBA TV Step Ladder Finals. And then qualifiers 2, 3, and 4 will head into the group Step Ladder Final tonight at 5 p.m. Pick out your favorite player, cheer her on right now. She needs all your support. How about a great big round of applause? Send off into our position round of the Pepsi PWBA Lincoln Open. Good luck, ladies.
All right, folks, here we go. Lee Jane Sin will start here. Again, top seed implications. Sorouse. All right, gets a good break to start. I mean, let's think about this. So, Sorouse, again, MEAC champion. Certainly making Maryland Eastern Shore proud here. All right, Liz Johnson strikes. Four pin for Liz Johnson. Lee Jane Sin did get count, so she starts with an open over on 21 and 22. Kelly Kulik dealing with the 2-5 currently. A couple spares across the board. All right, Kulik strikes in the second. 21 and 22. Here is Sorouse looking to double up early. And that crosses over. 6-pin is what is left. On to Lee Jane Sin here. And Lee Jane out 2-4-5. And not the look you want to see from her. Spare for Sorouse and a spare for Lee Jane Sin. Again, position round. Tashina Sorouse in Group A leads Liz Johnson by 51 pins. Group B, Lee Jane Sin taking on Kelly Kulik. The deficit there is relatively significant, 85 pins. But more importantly, from an overall seed standpoint, she holds a 6-pin advantage over Tashina Sorouse. And Sorouse with trouble. Big 4 off camera. And nearly a split here for Lee Jane Sin. So position round kind of starting a little slow. For Sorouse, she's been in some big time situations collegiately. This is a different spectrum. One that, to this point though, she has certainly proven that she belongs and can handle. And I talked about it before. When you got to defeat Liz Johnson to make the TV appearance for the first time outright, that's not as easy as waking up, putting on your pants, and putting a belt on. That's pretty easy. Beating Liz to do what I just described, well, that's big difficult. All right, Kelly, 310. Here is Liz Johnson. And Liz gets out of trouble, nearly a 4-9. Well, this week, scores have been relatively close, right, from a field perspective. Talked about how close they were even in the cashers round, not much separating all of the players, especially vying around the cut line, even into match play. The difference between first and 12th was 86 pins. There's been some movement, of course, with bonus. Jane Sin is 4-1. Sorouse is 4-1, as well as Liz Johnson. All right, Liz is clean. She's throwing a different ball than what I saw her throw the last time she was in this area. She came off of 29 and 30. Of course, the players get a few minutes of practice prior to the position round. Kulik did not like it, and she leaves a 3-6. Saw Kelly practicing the 3-step on the right lane on 22 during the brief practice session prior to this game. Other matches, of course, Maria Jose Rodriguez is plus 64. She's taking on Danielle Mcewen. Maria with spare 3 in a row, make it 4 in a row for Rodriguez. Keep an eye on her. Rouse, meanwhile, 6-10, I think, for Tashina. Hi, Jason Thomas. For Tashina, for her, just an opportunity to just kind of relax if she can. She has bowled so well to get to this point. Don't want to kind of start thinking about what could happen, what's on the line, etc. Right, Jane Sin finally on the board in the strike column. First one and the fourth. Spare opportunity here for Rouse. All right, she takes care of business. Lone open was the big four and the third. Liz Johnson is clean through 4. But Danielle Mcewen is going to have to be careful here, as Diana Zavyalova has gone strike, spare, 3-bagger. And the difference between those two individuals, currently sitting 4th and 5th in Group A, is just 14 pins. You know, that could be just a win and a loss right there. And the way it's going, Rodriguez has the early advantage on Mcewen, Zavyalova, and a tough match here with Shannon O'Keefe. O'Keefe fighting. And Rouse out of trouble. The last few for Tashina have gone through the nose. Mcewen, and she leaves a 2-pin over on lane 27. Rocio Restrepo started with the front 5. She just left a 3-6-10. Restrepo is 3rd in Group B, trying to move ahead of Kelly Kulik. Rouse makes the spare. Final match here, Caitlin Zwiebelhofer taking on Juliana Franco. Caitlin is -81. Had a heck of a run to get to match play. Great tournament. There's Kelly. There's the 3-step. There's the right lane. And almost 10 there. A little weak 10. Over to Liz Johnson. Shot. It's a big double for Liz. Again, 51 pins between Rouse and Liz Johnson for an automatic spot and what could ultimately be the top overall seed. Johnson, Rouse, and Lee Jane Sin all have an opportunity. Kulik takes care of the 10-pin. Don't forget, folks, live scoring is available. I encourage you to head to, if you haven't, check out pwba.com/live. The live scoring link is there. Find it, click on it, and follow along. Johnson pulled it. And a 6-10. You can almost hear a pin drop here inside Sun Valley lanes. Christina Zerbinski taking on Rocio Restrepo. Again, Restrepo had the front 5, 7 spare, 9 spare. Zerbinski, 84 in the 5th, open in the 5th frame. Strike in the 6th. She is stepping up here in the 7th. Liz Johnson takes care of the spare, and now Kulik with trouble on lane 21. Rodriguez crosses over. But Maria is in prime position here. No matter what happens, to move into the 2nd position in Group A. That would mean 1 game in a group step ladder instead of 2, of course, or potentially 0. Good shot there for Mcewen. And it's not happening here for Danielle. 9 spare in the 9th. Now a wrap 10-pin. O'Keefe, good shot. on the in versus Zabialova. Saraus 2-4-5, almost the same for Lee Jane Sin on 22. She leaves a 2-pin, speaking of Lee Jane Sin. I hope you're catching what I'm spewing, folks. Obviously, we can't see them all. You can't see them all. I can't get them all to you. And so I'm essentially kind of going down the road, if you will. Because they're all going to, not all of them. Zabialova and O'Keefe might finish first. It's spared by Lee Jane Sin. DZ strikes in the 8th. Max score at the moment for Diana is 248. Good spare from Saraus. She trails Liz Johnson. Her hand in the air, trying to get some extra air to dry the hand. Restrepo, she's got a max of 266 at this moment in time, although Zerbinski does have 3 in a row. Lee Jane Sin on the Brooklyn side carries one. Well, this might be the, just from a game perspective, the toughest game we've seen from Lee Jane Sin here. There's a good shot from Saraus. Close match here. 22 pins the difference. Lee Jane Sin and Kelly Kulik. Kulik will go first. Restrepo. And a late tap on the 7. She slaps it out in the 9th frame. Restrepo, who did not make the cashier's round last week in Wichita, is here in match play and trying to make a move. Good shot from Kulik. Liz Johnson strikes as well. Diana Zabialova, 8 spare in the 9th. She has 178 in the 8th on a spare. This is DZ I'm talking about. Rodriguez in the 9th frame goes Brooklyn and leaves a 6-pin. Christina Zerbinski now with 4 in a row. That brings her max score to 234. That's a good one over on 19 and 20. Kulik chops the 10 out. Liz Johnson. She's left a few 10 pins exactly like that. Just wrapped right around the 10 pin. We've seen it a couple of times from Liz today. You see Rodriguez to your right. She makes the spare. Best Danielle Mcewen right now can do, as we take you to Lee Jane Sin. I'll tell you in a second. Wow. This pair is not kind at all to Lee Jane Sin. Liz Johnson makes her spare. Mcewen can shoot 203. Rodriguez has won the match, so an automatic 30 for Rodriguez. Let's go ahead and put her at plus 94. She has won the match mathematically. Only thing left to determine, of course, is her final score. Zerbinski, one more in the 10th. How about the other? 6-pin will not fall. She will be in the 220s. The spare will give her 223. Saraus. Let's get a little bit of pressure potentially on Liz Johnson. That's a big double. That's a good start. Lee Jane Sin, low scoring here. .57 pins was the difference between Liz Johnson and Lee Jane Sin for the top overall seed. Lee Jane through the nose in the 9th frame. Zerbinski finishes with 223. Rouse, 4-pin. Needed it. Lee Jane Sid will get to be able to see Restrepo to your left. This is the 10th frame for Rocio, and she leads with 245. First shot in the 10th. Shannon O'Keefe shoots 186. Zabialova will win the match. She has 198 in the 9th. She just struck in the 10th. Danielle Mcewen is going to shoot at most 172. Zabialova will move into the step ladder. Rouse takes care of the spare. So watch the 245 from that match over, but still important for final tallies. Mcewen does indeed shoot 172. Steele makes the spare. Kelly in the 9th frame. Here is Liz Johnson in the 9th. Zabialova shoots 227. In trouble for Liz Johnson in the 9th frame. Whoa. Zabialova is plus 104. Unofficially her final tally. Kelly almost makes the 4-7-10. Liz Johnson gets the 2. So Liz can shoot 203. Lee Jane Sin can max at 194. Kelly Kulick can shoot 177. Maria Jose Rodriguez 2-4-10, almost made it. She wins the match, however. She shoots 224. Kulick week 10 in the 10th frame. Rodriguez is a plus 118 unofficially. Johnson. Almost trouble again. 6-10. So Rouse now will have a chance to win this match and earn a spot automatically on TV for the first time. At this point, we don't want to say it's over. It was a 51-pin difference. At this point, not enough for Liz. We'll just let it play on out. Four-pin for Liz. Kelly leaves a bucket. Kulick shoots 163. She loses 37 pins. She'll be at plus 79. Restrepo will move in front of Kelly. Zerbinski might have it as well. Zerbinski unofficially at plus 121. So here it is, folks. Rouse to lock up a spot on TV. All right, 2-4-5. All right, she could shoot 184, so she has lost the match. Liz Johnson gains the bonus pins. So Liz Johnson Unofficially at plus 166. Good spare. All right, so Rouse is good. By my count, course 184. We'll take you to Lee Jane's final shot. She shoots 180. She wins the match. So she'll gain 10. Should be at plus 211. Again, if my math is correct, she will be the #1 overall seed, the top seed yet again. Back-to-back weeks for Lee Jane Sin. Saraus, your #2 seed, Tashina Saraus. She didn't know if she made it. She just gave Angie Ramirez the biggest hug in the world. You kind of see them there. Good for her for not worrying about the score at all. But Saraus is on TV for the first time as an amateur, no less. Congratulations to Tashina Saraus. Here is Danielle Milligan for your final thoughts. Folks, thank you for listening. I'm going to go take photos, of course, as you know how I do things. Danielle will take you through it. Again, unofficially, Lee Jane Sin, your #1 overall seed. Tashina Saraus will win Group A. She will be the #2 seed. We had some movement. I don't think it's enough. Liz Johnson, Maria Jose Rodriguez, and Diana Zavyalova in Group A, I believe. Group B, Lee Jane Sin, Rocio Restrepo, Christina Zerbinski, and Kelly Kulik. All right, hang tight. On behalf of all of our staff, PWBA crew here at Sun Valley, big thanks for everyone watching. Hold on for the final announcements, folks, the official announcements, and here they are.
To introduce to you your finalist, your tournament leader for the second week in a row, and your top seed. Please put together your hands together for Lee Jane Sin. Leading Group A, our amateur in the field, Tashina Saraus from Aruba. She will be the #2 seed for our TV stepladder finals in just a few weeks. Now for our group stepladder final that will begin at 5 p.m. We'll start with Group A. The #4 qualifier is Diana Zavyalova. Her opponent in the opening match will be our #3 seed, Maria Rodriguez. And the winner of that match will go on to meet our #2 qualifier, our reigning player of the year, Liz Johnson. Now over in Group B, our #4 qualifier is Kelly Kulik. Her opponent in the opening match will be our #3 qualifier, Christina Zerbinski. And the winner of that match will go on to meet our #2 seed, Rocio Restrepo. These are your finalists, ladies and gentlemen. One more big round of applause for all of them. All right, the group stepladder finals of the Pepsi PWBA Lincoln Open will begin at 5 o'clock. Thank you all for coming this afternoon, and stick around for a great and fun, exciting conclusion of our event. See you soon.
Jane, 'cause it couldn't be Jane.